welcome you from Madison. Second of our doubleheader tonight. BTN basketball presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's the Golden Gophers of Minnesota and the Badgers of Wisconsin renewing this long-standing old-school rivalry. Dates back to 1906. Badgers have won the last 8. They've won 19 to the last 20 here in Madison. I'm Brian Anderson with Sean Morris. And Sean, not only is this a rivalry that goes back, but you got a couple of guys who have been around a long, long time in Jordan Murphy and Ethan Happ.
Brian, you talk about the old school rivalry. We're taking a look at two old school players in a variety of ways. Most notably the fact that they are going to begin and finish their careers at their respective institutions as two of the best to ever wear the uniform at their respective schools. I think people need to understand and respect the longevity and the outstanding production by those two young men.
Well, they'd lead these two starting lineups, the 21-year-old Murphy, the 22-year-old Ethan Happ. Got a couple of freshmen in that Minnesota starting five, and Daniel Otsuru, who's been playing very well, and Gabe Kalsher, the sharpshooter. And the Badgers coming off a loss against Western Kentucky. Familiar starting five for them, and Trice, Happ, Davison, Iverson, and Nate Reavers. And there he is, preseason All-America, Ethan Happ. Both Happ and Murphy rewriting their program's record books. We'll get into their illustrious careers as we continue here tonight. Great to be back in conference play in the Big Ten. Wisconsin 2-0 in the first run in December. Minnesota went 1-1. Their victory came against Nebraska. Wisconsin will control the tip, and away we go from the Kohl Center on a Thursday night. Right away, Happ starting the action for Madison, for Wisconsin here in Madison. Greg Gard, now in year number 4. He took over December of 2015. Long-time assistant going back to the 01-02 season, 18th year with the Badgers. Davison gets off the first shot, and it's one and done. Arturo secures the rebound.
Davison coming off a nice performance in a losing effort at Western Kentucky. 26 points, more importantly, 3 of 4 from behind the arc.
Minnesota 11-2, 1-1 in Big Ten play. Had a win over Nebraska, as I mentioned. Their loss came on the road against Ohio State. Here's Murphy now with Happ on him. That is a world-class matchup in the Big Ten, and scores it to get us going here tonight. Jordan Murphy.
Nice footwork by Murphy, and then stepping under. Happ trying to maintain verticality. Murphy savvy enough to understand that and step underneath.
Wisconsin comes in here reeling a bit. They lost on the road at Western Kentucky. 83 points allowed by the Badgers against Western Kentucky last Saturday. That was an 83-76 loss. The Hilltoppers shot 68% in the second half. Iverson gets it deep. Wisconsin on the board.
Both baskets have been the result of excellent footwork around the rim. Here, Iverson continuing where he left off, shot the ball very well versus Western Kentucky. They isolate him on the block, and it paid dividends.
Reavers checking Arturo, the freshman, Daniel Arturo. A little turnaround short. And Happ clears it away.
Arturo, a good-looking freshman. 4 consecutive double-doubles, albeit against non-conference competition.
Two-man game. Trice and Happ, nothing there. Minnesota's an excellent defensive team, but Happ patient. And doesn't give up on the play and scores with the jumper.
And a breakdown of defensive communication as to who was going to take Happ. Happ sensed that. Coffey thought he was checking it off to Murphy.
And a turnover for the Golden Gophers, led by Richard Pitino. This is year number 6. 2013-2014 season was his first at 1 year at Florida International. Made the NCAA tournament in 2017, and this Minnesota team has a chance to return to the NCAA tournament. They are certainly one of those bubble teams as we get into the new year. They can take care of a lot of that as they get into conference play. Ethan Happ kicks it. He's an excellent passer. Reavers steps inside. Little mid-range is short. And Murphy, the Minnesota program all-time leading rebounder, gets aboard.
Good job by Iverson of moving his feet.
Dumping inside, but Reavers is there and Happ in to clean it up. Well, they pack it down, Wisconsin. No room for Oturo to work. Happ slips. Almost threw it away. It'll be a foul on Amir Coffey of Minnesota.
Brian, the first baskets for the respective squads came as a result of excellent footwork. Now watch Murphy here. Good job of maintaining verticality by Happ, but that's savvy play. Step underneath and giving yourself the opportunity to use the window. And here they isolate Iverson coming off a 5-for-7 performance from the floor. Then he steps through the double team. Oturo is shot blocker, but because the fact that he got lower, he was able to take it past Oturo, who blocks 2 shots a game.
Iverson coming off a season-high 10 points against Western Kentucky in a loss. Badgers at 10-3 coming in. Their 2 conferences. Wow, is that any good? Ethan Happ with the spin, finishing with the left.
And a nice recognition by Happ that you have Eric Curry checked into the ball game. This is only his 2nd game back after a series of knee injuries. Make him defend on the perimeter. Early minutes for Curry. Charles Thomas on the floor to guard Curry. Gives Minnesota another big body. Curry's 2nd game back. Just a full season last season and the first 12 games of this season after knee surgery. Davison gives it right back to Happ. Double team comes. Trice almost threw it away, did Happ. 9 on the shot clock. Trice trying to shake Kelcher, does so, comes up short. And in transition, Coffey comes away from the pack. Bullet pass across, and Gabe Kelcher, yes. Wonderful job by Kelcher of spreading out the defense, Brian. If he doesn't sprint to the corner, one can guard 2. He sprints to the corner. That created the proper spacing angle. And this is a young man that if he gets going, he can knock it down. 38% from the floor from behind the arc so far. Only 5 of his last 31 prior to that offer. Great program in Minnesota. De La Salle High School, 3-time state champion. Kelcher, impact freshman for the Golden Gophers. Iverson gives it up. Happ will pull a 3. And a foul on Charlie Thompson. It will take us, Charlie Thomas, I beg your pardon, will take us to a timeout. Brian, old school rivalry. We're going to see some old school footwork. Put a guy in the spin, understanding personnel, and deliver. We're just underway here in Madison. The 22nd ranked Badgers of Wisconsin leading 6-5. Brian Anderson with the great Sean Morris. Great to have you with us. It's outstanding to be back in conference play in the Big Ten. What we just saw there might be one of the Achilles heels for the Badgers, and Minnesota taking advantage in transition. Getting up and down the floor, it resulted in a 3-point shot by Kelcher in the corner. That's good news for a number of reasons. Watch him sprint to the corner. That presents the proper passing angle, which allowed Kelcher to get his feet set and knock it down. And transition defense was really hurt Wisconsin last time out against Western Kentucky on the road. They gave up 68% shooting in the second half to the Hilltoppers. And there is a turnover by Minnesota. Gophers get back. And Trice looking for Happ. Nothing there. You know, it's interesting talking to Greg Gard. So on the stat sheet, points off turnovers equaled 6 for Western Kentucky. But Gard said, I mark every possession. I don't necessarily count the points off turnovers, but I count every bad shot, which turns into points as well. As Reavers misses on a 3. And Greg Gard, by his count, and he's the only one that matters for the Badgers, there were 15 points allowed, either coming off a turnover or a bad shot, what he deemed as a bad shot. And that's ultimately what did end Wisconsin on the road last Saturday. And that does not allow your defense to get set. And Wisconsin has shown that when you get their defense set, they're very difficult to score upon. Murphy walks, another turnover for Minnesota. Hey, don't forget, later tonight, the Big Show recaps everything happening in the conference with highlights, post-game interviews, and in-depth expert analysis. It's the Big Show, and it's tonight at 11:30 Eastern, right here on BTN. Saw Purdue at home at Mackey with a 16-point win over Iowa, 25th ranked Hawkeyes. Michigan winning by 13 over Penn State tonight. On the run, McBrayer gives it up, and it's pinned by Iverson. Murphy gets it back. You can tell, Brian, the point of emphasis by Minnesota is when we get the ball on a turnover or a rebound, we are going to push the pace. And so far, it has paid dividends for the Golden Gophers on the road.
Minnesota answering a 6-0 Wisconsin run with a 5-0 run of their own, trying to add to it as Ethan Happ turns it over.
A really good job by Minnesota collapsing defensively on Happ. When he caught the ball down on the block, there were not just 2 maroon jerseys, but 3 which collapsed upon him. And then Happ compounded it. He tried to throw to a voice rather than to a body. He thought he heard his teammate call for the ball. There was no one there, resulting in a dead ball turnover.
It's always interesting to see how the rotations go. Minutes on the floor for the reserves. And this is a key window for the Badgers. They got very little from their bench against Western Kentucky. Combined 6 points from their reserves. Murphy spins. He's got Reavers on him. Gets his own, misses again, and it's Kobe King who comes away with a rebound.
And I think Murphy got popped in the face there on that second offer.
Badgers have not scored since the 16:51 mark. Just 3 minutes, 9 seconds into this one. After a good start shooting, a lean forward with Davison, looking for a screen from Pritzl.
They need to reverse the ball here, Brian. It was on the left side of the floor way too long.
And now Davison to the hole. Misses badly on the layup, the Minnesota native. Kilsher hit his first 3. Gives it up. Still will fire. Comes up short.
Nice block out by Reavers on Murphy. Excellent job by Reavers of getting his lower body into Murphy and not allowing him to use his explosiveness around the rim.
Stoll checks Pritzl. Boy, Murphy's a handful, and he is locked in now to Reavers, who's trying to post up. Murphy, he's listed at 6'7". He's probably more like 6'5" plus. Davison looking for a foul. Can't draw one, and it's a shot clock violation. Minnesota puts the clamps down on Wisconsin defensively.
Take a look at Reavers right here, Brian. When the ball goes up, he knows he has to locate Murphy, and not just locate him, but put a body on him. He gets low. That negates the ability of Murphy to get to the offensive glass, where he averages 3 per ball game, leading the conference, not just in overall rebounding, but offensive rebounds per game.
Dupree, McBrayer back on the floor for Richard Pitino. It's interesting how Pitino has used Eric Curry here early. Just 2 brief windows of time on the floor just to get him going. And then he's already subbed for him on 3 occasions here as Otero is back on. Still bullet pass, and the catch and finish by Otero. Nice
Job of cutting hard by Otero. And how about the ability by the freshman to finish with the off or left hand there? Nice job all the way around. Good delivery from Stoll.
Brock Stoll knows about this gym, this location. The grad senior transfer from Milwaukee. A lean forward for 3, in and out. Otero with a board. Here comes Stoll. Badgers started 3 for 5 from the field. They've missed their last 5.
Really good job in defensive transition by Wisconsin of being there on the catch on Kalsher in the far corner.
Stoll gives it up. Otero got traffic around him, bodying his way in. Bodies on the ground, and it's Ford who comes away with a board. Kobe King. Nothing there. Minnesota once again gets back well defensively.
Nice job by Murphy of gapping Happ.
Trice can't connect on his first 3-point attempt. Trice really struggling from the line, was just 1 for 6 from behind the arc against Western Kentucky.
Still leads the conference in 3-point percentage even after that performance at 51% from behind the line.
Trice jumps the lane, a steal. Trice has King on the right, waiting for Happ. Minnesota with active hands defensively as Happ draws a foul from Otero. And that'll take us to our second timeout. 10:22 remaining in this first half. It's 9-6 Minnesota. ETN presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. And brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Oh, it goes way, way back. 1906. I think there's a little young Sean Morris in the crowd right there. Ice to the right. Baseline.
Just a wee one.
Wisconsin has won 19 of the last 25 overall. Saw those narrow lanes back in the 20s.
Well, exactly. And what you will notice is that because of one George Mikan, that is why now I wasn't there actually there when that happened, contrary to popular belief, but to have that kind of impact as a single player, there's a reason they have a drill named after you.
I think the lanes are going to expand next year. Coming out of the timeout, Kobe King misses the jumper. It has gone over 6.5 minutes for Wisconsin without scoring. They are 0 for their last 7. That includes 3 turnovers, 2 of those by Ethan Happ. It's a 7-0 Minnesota run. Stoll on the floor with Dupree McBrayer. Here's Stoll again with Happ on him. Gives it up. Coffee. In pass, nice look inside, and Michael Hurt finishes with the left hand.
That's the second time in the last 3 or 4 possessions that Wisconsin uncharacteristically has been caught ball watching, because it looked like it was going to be a good defensive stand, Brian, because they did not allow ball reversal, but because Wisconsin got caught flat-footed, a dive to the rim paid dividends.
It's a 9-0 run for the Golden Gophers. Ford, pump fake, misses again, his second missed 3, and Coffee runs it down.
Now 0 of 6 from behind the arc for the Badgers after going 6 of 21 last time.
Coffee gives it up and throw it down. Daniel Oturo. Two-handed jam makes it an 11-0 run. Now let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big Ten.
Big Ten Conference play resuming tonight. Minnesota on a nice run here, Sean.
Amir Coffey showing you what dribble penetration can do. You draw 2, then you leave it to Oturo, who continues to play confidently. And that's 3 baskets in the last 5 possessions that Minnesota's been able to convert from point-blank range.
Drought continues for Wisconsin. Near 8 minutes on the game clock. And another turnover, this time Trice right into the hands of Brock Stoll. Coffee now. It'll lean forward. He'll pull up the lefty. Misses badly. Banged it off the window.
Pulled his hand back. You can tell when he makes his next one, I guarantee you, Brian, he'll have that fish hook extension. He's very easy. You can always tell on his release whether he has a chance to go in. That one, he pulls his hand back so quickly.
An air ball by Trice. Don't forget, coming up, basketball postgame coming up after this one. Great night of hoops here in the Big Ten Conference. Indiana took down Illinois. Focus on this one tonight on the basketball postgame. Break it down in every way possible. Substitutions coming for Minnesota. Here's McBrayer. Hangs. Fouled by Kobe King. Wisconsin looks unsettled right now. They got off to a great start. Before their first 5 shots, looked like they were in rhythm. But boy, Minnesota has wrestled it back, and they have kept this sizable crowd, which will be pushing a sellout, quiet.
And the offensive rhythm that they got in the early part of the ball game, Brian, came as a result of they forced Minnesota to really defend for 15, 20, 25 seconds of the shot clock. What's led to this breakout opportunity for Minnesota has been the fact 1 or 2 passes or a turnover or a quick shot, which has led to the opportunity to get out in the open floor for Minnesota.
Curry, Kelcher, Murphy back on the floor. 0 for their last 9, Wisconsin. Here's Ethan Happ. Gives it up. Pretzel for 3. Got it. Nice job
getting his feet set, but you'll notice that pass from Happ hit Pritzl right in the shooting pocket. He didn't have to adjust, could just step right into the shot. Nice delivery from the big fella.
Coffey hits a deck. And is it a foul? It is. Greg Gard wanted the travel. It'll be a foul on Wisconsin. Low scoring affair here in Madison. Gophers up 14-9. And Sean, how about our State Farm assist to the game?
Nice job by Amir Coffey of getting to the strong hand. Dribble penetration, draws 2 white jerseys. And what you're going to see on this look, Brian, is a rare defensive lapse by the Badgers in the form of Demetric Trice. He gets caught watching the ball handler. In this case, Coffey. That allows Hurt to backdoor. And again, an easy conversion, 1 of 3 assists for the junior Amir Coffey.
Minnesota with 4 assists for the game on 6 made field goals. And Kelcher in the corner, air ball, hit a 3 from there early in this first half. Wisconsin just 4 for 14. Minnesota went on a 12-0 run. It was a 9-minute scoring drought until Pritzl hit the 3 on the setup by Happ. He bangs his way in, scores over Curry.
And he likes that matchup. You know, Curry not only is giving up size, but right now he's not necessarily in tip-top basketball condition. The double team was a little tardy. That allowed Happ to get to the strong hand.
Coffey hangs and scores. Well, the 2 southpaws in the starting lineup for the Gophers, and Coffey and McBrayer.
I'm going right back to Happ here. Force the double, then you can kick it out. It paid dividends with Pritzl a few times ago. Let's see if they go right back inside to maybe an opportunity for someone else.
Gives it up. Reavers will fire, misses. King with a rebound. Greg Gard made it a point earlier, something that didn't happen against Western Kentucky. He wants his offense to make Minnesota play a full clock of defense. Happ cannot connect on the little jump hook. Feels like Wisconsin took too many early shots, not in the regular rhythm of the offense. Nice Davidson ties him up, a held ball.
And a really good job by Davison. A lot of times you'll see somebody come down and swipe at the ball. Watch where he comes. He comes from underneath. That allows for the tie-up rather than swinging down and potentially drawing a foul. Savvy play by Davison.
Got Brad Davison from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Reavers from Lakeville, Minnesota. Wisconsin, especially since Greg Gard arrived as an assistant coach under Bo Ryan, have recruited very well out of Minnesota. Kelcher had it denied by Reavers.
Well, you force Kelcher out of his comfort zone. Has to go to his left hand, fading away, trying to create space, and Nate Reavers dismisses that with extreme prejudice.
Nate Reavers had 9 blocks against Stanford. He's averaging a block and a half a game as Coffey heats up, fires a 3, knocks it down. He's got a quick 5 in the last 2 possessions.
And the difference between that one and the one that he clanged, watch the follow through it and the excellent backspin as a result.
Minnesota has had 8 players in the game already. 6 have scored at this point. Balanced attack for Richard Pitino's Golden Gophers. Happ gives it up. Now Reavers for 3. Can't get that one to go. Boy, Wisconsin scuffling from behind the arc.
And Reavers shot that before his feet were set, Brian.
1 for 9 from 3. Murphy inside. Nothing there. Happ got a block on the baseline. That'll be Wisconsin ball.
I've really been impressed with the different varieties put forth in terms of the double team on Happ. They've come sometimes with the hesitation. They've come from different sides of the floor. They've come from the strong side. He's done a pretty good job of getting it out of his hands. But in the last case with Reavers, he didn't do his work while the ball was in the air to him. He shot that before his feet were completely under him.
Happ had his hands full on Saturday against Western Kentucky. Charles Bassey, who looks like a guy that's got next level written all over him, gave him some trouble. Happ did have 20 points and 10 rebounds, but 23 field goal attempts in that game. And look how they sag off Happ. No threat even for a mid-range. Trice misses the 3. 1 for 10 from 3-point range for Wisconsin. Minnesota up 8. Chance to add. Coffey, nice little floater in the lane.
So many times in that situation, you'll see somebody take that extra dribble and draw a charge. Here, utilized the 2-foot jump stop and slid over to his right, allowing him to get back to the left hand. Nice job by Coffey.
Coffey scored the last 7 for Minnesota. Happ cannot get the left-handed layup to go. Coffey again. Well, he is full of energy. Makes it go into the lane with the left. No, gets his own and is fouled. Free throws coming for Amir Coffey. Hey, a reminder that Saturday on BTN, Bruno Fernando and the Terrapins hit the road for a tough matchup against Eugene Omoruyi and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Big Ten basketball presented by Jeep. Saturday, 2 Eastern, right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Coffey averaging over 15 points per game, has scored the last 8 for Minnesota.
And a really good job of utilizing the 2-foot jump stop and not taking that extra dribble. You had a defender outside the restricted area. A lot of times the guys will try to get a little bit closer and draw that offensive contact, but a savvy play by Coffey to come under control.
He's got 9 in a row for the Golden Gophers, coming off a 13-point game in Minnesota's win last Sunday against Mount St. Mary's. It is another 9-0 run for Minnesota. They are up 12 on the road in Madison. Khalil Iverson. Coffey checks him. Iverson gives it up. Ford for 3. That's another miss. That's 1 for 11 now from behind the arc for Wisconsin. Under 4 minutes to play in this first half. Dreadful shooting by the Badgers. After a good start to this game, Coffey with a hot pass. Oturo looking for room. And Reavers is there to clear it away.
You're struggling so much from the floor. You might want to get something going toward the rim. That better go in if you're Wisconsin.
Oh, and final goes in. You're right. Nate Reavers, he and Pretzel have hit the threes, only the 2 makes thus far.
And that, you know, he got his feet underneath him on that one, but that one better go in because it was another early shot. If he misses that, it's another number situation for Minnesota.
Crowd tried to help him out. Inside, Davison comes away with it, not only the strip, but also gets it into transition for Wisconsin. Impressive athletic play by Davison. Goes to the hole. No. Looking for contact and a technical foul on Brad Davison. Mike Eads rings him up with a tee as Davison hit the deck. Was barking out to the official. Boy, Wisconsin rattle uncharacteristic on their home floor where they are 6-0 this year. Down 9. Gophers by 9 here as we renew conference play in the Big Ten. You see Dupree McBrayer getting the lip worked on. Had a bloody lip. Mike Eads, the official, came over, had a chat with us. He said first Davison jumps into the defender. Davison looking for contact, slaps the floor, and he hit him with a technical.
And watch where his head, I mean, right into Dupree McBrayer. So in addition, Brian, to having his lip worked on, he may go through some concussion protocol as well because of where that contact took place.
Coffey will shoot the technical fouls. Davison picks up his second foul. And Coffey 1 out of 2. Minnesota ball here, a 10-point Gopher lead. As Dupree McBrayer continues to be worked on. Yeah, that got him good, opened him up.
Where's Ferdy Pacheco when you need him?
Minnesota with the ball up 10 as we go under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Murphy with Ford on him, turns, and Ford knocks it away right into the hands of Reavers. Heck of a defensive play by Aleem Ford.
We could hear it over here. That was all ball. You just heard hand on leather.
Crowd is quiet. Just 14 points on the board for Wisconsin. Shot clock down to 7. Here's Trice, gives it up. Ford on the take. runs right into the wall of Kelcher. Excellent defense, and Kelcher gets it to Stoll. Stoll patient as we approach 2 minutes remaining. There's nothing going offensively for Wisconsin. Coffee gets the switch. Coffee will pull a three. Got it. Coffee heating up in this second half of the first half. Has 13 now. Don't forget, coming up next, it's the State Farm halftime report. Rick Pizzo, John Crispin standing by in our Chicago studios.
Well, Minnesota just so locked in defensively. The communication is outstanding.
Wisconsin went on a 9-minute drought without scoring. Trice takes a tough three, and Murphy able to secure it.
Well, they've got a size mismatch down there. They weren't able to take advantage. O'Toole did a good job of sprinting the floor.
Coffee springs free. A lot of contact. Reavers hit the deck. Coffee scores it. Boy, Coffee's having a first half. Turnover. Wisconsin completely unsettled here in this first half. Well, lean forward, you can hear all ball, and then Coffee coming back. Yeah, I think Reavers just tripped and fell. Coffee kept it alive and scored it.
Coffee just playing so confidently, very assertive on the offensive end of the floor. He did that in their conference win back in early December, Brian, against Nebraska. He was far and away the best player on the floor in that particular outing. He's showing that here again this evening.
At 32 points against Nebraska. He's 6'8". He can run the point. Good with the ball in his hands. His dad, Richard, played at Minnesota. Played a little bit for the Timberwolves as well in the NBA. Hopkins High School. Amir Coffee. 15 points already. He's hit a couple of threes. He's on his own 15-3 run over Wisconsin over the last 6+ minutes. The three for the Badgers, that was the Reavers three-point make. Wisconsin just 2 for 13 from three-point land. Minnesota can add to it. Coffee inside Murphy, and it's blocked by Reavers, his second block of the game.
Boy, a lot of traffic there around Murphy. Good job by Wisconsin of collapsing on the conference's leading rebounder and among the leading scorers.
About 7 seconds separate shot clock and game clock. Pritzel will pull a three. Short. Murphy secures the board. One of the great rebounders in college basketball, Jordan Murphy. Murphy with 9 boards already in 17 minutes. Got a foul. Trice had one to give here.
The Wisconsin Fumbles on the beach of Trice.
14 points, lowest scoring half of the year with 5.6 seconds remaining.
And if you are Wisconsin defensively here, Brian, you have to make sure that you find number 3 Murphy and put a body on him, because they're going to get a shot up here in about 2 or 3 seconds.
Coffee again. No, Murphy gets the board. Can't get the shot off in time. That'll take us to the end of the first half. Wow. Minnesota dismantling Wisconsin in the first half. Back to the drawing board. Go the Badgers. Coming up next, State Farm halftime report. Rick and John will break it down for you. 29-14, Minnesota from Madison. Is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Trusted for generations. Visit AutoOwners.com. Fancy dribbling here at the half at the Kohl Center. It is all Minnesota. 29-14, lowest point total for the Badgers since 1999. Brian Anderson with Sean Morris of Minnesota came to play. They've had the Badgers on lockdown in this first half.
Defensively, Minnesota has been stellar, and it's gone on to the other end of the floor. You contrast that with the ease with which Minnesota has been able to score, especially in the last 10 minutes of the first half. They got going in the open floor. Kelcher able to get his feet set and knock it down. And the common theme in a lot of this has been the play of Amir Coffey. Draw, dish, and deliver. 29 points in the first half for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 20 of those either via second chance or fast break points, and Wisconsin really struggling to get into any kind of offensive flow. Did not make a visit to the foul line in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and at the three-point line, Wisconsin 2 for 14. And this home crowd trying to get Wisconsin back together here. They're in a deep hole early. Arturo pulls down the first rebound of this second half. You mentioned Amir Coffey. Went on a personal 15-3 run over the last 7 minutes for the Golden Gophers. Minnesota 11-2. Had a loss on the road against Ohio State. Had a win against Nebraska in December. Shot clock down to 4. Iverson on the floor. Gets it. Here's Happ. Minnesota turnover. Trice passes up a 3. Now pulls. Well, that has been a familiar sight for Wisconsin as Iverson hits the baseline. Just 2 for 15. The lone makes from three-point range, Nate Reavers and Brevin Pritzel. Been a long night for Greg Gard.
A good transition defense by Minnesota in this regard, Brian. They forced Trice to put the ball on the floor and not catch and release. That disrupted his rhythm.
Well, think about this. In a 20-minute half, in the first half, Wisconsin scored 8 points in the final 16 minutes. Had a 9-minute drought in there at one time. Give a lot of credit to Minnesota's defense. Wisconsin has missed a lot of shots, too. Shot clock at 3, and an offensive foul on Oturo as Reavers hits the deck. That'll be Wisconsin ball. Second foul on the freshman Oturo.
He's checking the... Yeah, that's an easy call because he extended that inside arm. I mean, he got away with the first bang, and then when you drop that shoulder, Oturo saw the shot clock. You saw him take a peek down at the other end. He had more time than he thought, kind of rushed into something.
Badgers need a spark offensively. Here's Happ now. He takes Oturo inside, misses. Murphy kept it alive and run down by Amir Coffey. Coffey was a star in the first half. Gives it up. Gabe Coucher, no. And it's Happ with a rebound.
If you're Wisconsin now, Brian, you've got to get something going toward the rim. You've got to get something going toward the rim.
And Happ goes to the rim. It's a block. Count the basket. Chance at a three-point play for Ethan Happ.
One of the few times that Minnesota hasn't been able to get back and get set defensively. Good job by Happ of understanding that he had the freshman Oturo backpedaling, attack that inside foot. And if you're Wisconsin, you had to get something going toward the rim because so far you've been playing into the hands of what Minnesota has been trying to employ defensively.
2 quick fouls in the second half for Daniel Oturo. The freshman will sit as Eric Curry returns. Happ's got 9. 12-point Minnesota lead. Wisconsin switching everything on the perimeter. And now Curry. Nice little fadeaway jumper for Eric Curry.
Nice job of utilizing that inside pivot to create a little bit of space between himself and the defender Reavers. A nice job by Eric Curry.
Richard Pitino used him in short stints in the first half. Now Curry gets a hand across the wrist of Happ and a foul. Curry played 17 minutes against Mount St. Mary's in his return after missing the first 12 games, missing all of last year with knee surgery. Still wears that big knee brace on his left knee. Happ going to work. Yes, and again.
And that's been the matchup that Wisconsin's been able to take advantage of when it's been Curry drawing the primary defensive assignment on Happ. He's given up not just size, but mobility right now because of that knee.
That's 11 for Ethan Happ. Murphy with Happ on him, looking inside. Curry. Curry on Reavers. And can't get the bounce. Davison comes away with a board. Back inside to Ethan Happ. There he goes to work. And a little right-handed jump hook.
Nice job of spinning away from contact. And the thing I like about it, so many times teams will go away from what's working, keep riding half until Minnesota stops it.
Kelcher. And a block underneath. Davison took a shot to the jaw. But a foul on Davison.
The dribble drive by Kelcher.
Tough call there on Davison. Davison got a technical foul in the first half. I beg your pardon, they called it on Kelcher. So Minnesota will take a timeout. It'll be Wisconsin ball. 10-point Minnesota lead. We're still gathering here. Terry Weimer, Mike Eads, Steve McJunkins. Let's do a little housekeeping here, Sean. The one official, Terry Weimer, called a block. Mike Eads called an offensive foul, and that was the shot across the jaw of Brad Davison that they looked at during the timeout.
Yeah, they're taking a look to see if that's an F1. Since there was contact above the shoulders, I don't think that would certainly qualify because he's going into a basketball play. But to your point, Brian, on the play that drew that call, you had the down official signal a charge. The up official signaled a block. So rather than post and hold and make eye contact, which they so often do, one had a block, one had a charge.
So we'll get an explanation here. Steve McJunkins.
One had a block, one had a charge. So we got to go with double foul. And Red keeps the ball on the inline.
So you're going with the alternating possession?
Well, there's no alternating possession because Red still has the ball at the point of contact. So Red has the ball.
Just getting an explanation here. Go ahead, Sean.
Red will keep the ball. And what Steve McJunkins was explaining is that since they had one with a block and one with the charge, okay, then they decided to go with the possession. Since Wisconsin had the ball, it'll be Wisconsin's ball down underneath.
So, and no F1, no flagrant one, which was the other part of this. So there's a little bit of unraveling to do here with officials making different calls on the play.
Take a look down here, right here and right here. All right, and this is the situation that unfolded. Now watch the bottom official. You have one, the block, and then the charge. And so as a result, they went together. They had to make sure, since there was contact above the shoulder, Brian, that they were looking at an F1, but then they also had to sort out, since one had a block, one had a charge, they'll stay down here since it was Wisconsin that had control of the ball.
And it'll be a double foul. So Gabe Kelcher and Brad Davison both picking up fouls. That's significant for Wisconsin because Davison picks up his third. It'll be Minnesota ball here. And Coffey turns it over. Trice gets it to Pritzel. Wisconsin ends up with a possession after the turnover.
And important to note that one of those three fouls was of the technical variety early in the first half. Or first half, yes.
I think the refs could have done a better job with that one. Here's Happ, dumps it inside, and Reavers, patient, is fouled. He'll go to the line. Remember, Wisconsin did not shoot a free throw in the first half.
You've got to finish that, Brian, if you're Wisconsin and Nate Reavers.
Murphy picks up his second.
Happ did his job drawing the double team, and he leaves it right for you. And what Reavers did, if we have a chance to look at it again, is that he faded away from contact rather than put his shoulder to the rim and force the defender to come through him. Watch right here. You draw the double. Now you got to put your shoulder to the rim. You can't fade away from contact there.
It's both the free throws. Wisconsin 3 for 3 from the line in the second half. They have pulled within 8 now. It's a 6-0 Wisconsin run. Remember, Daniel Otero, starting center, in foul trouble. He's on the bench with 3.
It's be a good time to get the ball in the hands of Coffey, especially with the shot clock getting ready to wind down here.
Murphy with Happ on him, gives it up. McBrayer for 3. No. And there's Happ with a rebound. Here come the Badgers again. Happ proficient with the ball. Trice for 3. Got it. 9-0 Wisconsin run. Curry pulls up, not there. Pritzel the rebound.
This is going to be an area when Amir Coffey was assertive offensively. That's when Minnesota was at their best. He can't afford to take a back seat now as the second half unfolds.
It's a 9-0 run. Wisconsin down 5. Trice. And there's Coffey with a rebound. He wants to push it. Coffey great in the first half. Had 15 points. It was a 15-point halftime lead for Minnesota. It has evaporated quickly down to 5. Coffey for 3. Ooh, wow. Murphy hit the ground hard. Oh, my goodness. Murphy went face first on the ground. Yikes. Be a Wisconsin foul. 31-26. The Badgers have life in the second half in Madison.
Quit throwing money away.
31-26, the Badgers. A 9-0 run to get back in this game. Saw Jordan Murphy hit the ground hard. That slap you heard was his hand. We took a look at this during the timeout. There's the slap there, but boy, some chin to floor there as well. Take a listen. Man.
And he's fortunate that it wasn't his chin, but Brian, even with something like that, you can break your hand or a bone in your hand hitting the floor that hard. He's very fortunate.
It's been an extremely physical game. Dupree McBrayer has had a bloody lip in the first half. Davison still on the bench with those 3 fouls. Kobe King joins Hap Pritzel. Going to lean forward on the floor as well. Here's Murphy. Murphy goes to the hole, and he is fouled. And to the free throw line goes the senior, Jordan Murphy. Hey, Sunday on BTN, 3 exciting conference matchups come your way. The Illini taking on the Wildcats of Northwestern, Nebraska and Iowa, and then Wisconsin squaring off with the Nittany Lions. Big Ten basketball presented by Jeep. Sunday right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
Murphy at the line, Brian, because he did an excellent job of riding his defender up the lane, which provided a passing angle. Even though he split the foul shots, a really good job of post play by Murphy led to that foul line trip.
Murphy had a monster first half, had 10 rebounds. Trice looking inside to Hap. Hap wasn't there. Murphy had position on him. A turnover. Coffey running the floor and scoring in transition.
How about McBrayer catching and immediately looking up the floor? No superfluous dribble, which allowed the defense to recover. He kicked it right ahead to Coffey.
Coffey has 17 points. He's been on the attack. Hap now, Oturo with 3 fouls. Goes right around him. That's foul number 4. No shot for Ethan Hap.
Last transition, take a look at Dupree McBrayer. He's calling for the basketball on the rebound. Now, 1 dribble and ahead. He doesn't take the extra dribble. He needed that dribble to allow Coffey to get up the floor, but a really good job of point guard play in transition, making himself available for the outlet pass, then getting the ball in the middle of the floor and forcing the defense to react.
Well, foul trouble for Minnesota. Already their 6th team foul. Oturo has 4. He's on the bench, and that's easy pickings for Ethan Hap inside.
And again, understanding the matchup with Eric Curry, only his 2nd game back, and Hap doing a good job of understanding that calling for the ball and able to turn over that left shoulder.
Wisconsin scored 14 points in the first half. They've got 14 on the board in the first 7 minutes of this second half. Stoll, bullet pass inside to Hunt. Runs into traffic. McBrayer with 5 on the shot clock. Brock Stoll will pull it and hit it. Stoll with a 3. A line drive 3-pointer that goes. Makes it a 9-point Minnesota lead.
That's what he does. He's now 7 of 11 from behind the arc on the year. Also came in the first half, did a nice job of distributing the ball.
Hap works on Curry. Minnesota wants to move it. McBrayer to Stoll. He'll fire another. Got it. Back-to-back possessions. Brock Stoll delivers delivers the 3 ball. Minnesota's played 8. All 8 have scored now that Stoll's into the mix. Brock Stoll from Rockford, Illinois, the grad transfer from Milwaukee. A 6-0 run for the Gophers on back-to-back threes from Stoll.
And when Wisconsin was climbing back in, it's been the grad transfer Stoll who's able to get his feet set and bailing out here in transition. You can't leave him alone. He shows you why here.
Take a look at the Auto Owners Insurance game leaders. Amir Coffey with 17 points, had 15 of those in the first half. Jordan Murphy with 10 boards. And Ethan Happ, 7 second-half points to give him 15 for the game. He'll take a breather at the 12-10 mark of this second half.
And a really good job of getting him out, because you're coming up again now, coming up on a media timeout. So you're going to have an opportunity to get him a little bit of extra rest without missing a whole lot of game time here.
It was a 9-0 run for Wisconsin. They got within 6. Back-to-back threes by Brock Stoll. And Minnesota back up 12 now. Davison into traffic. Reavers passes up a 3, working on Curry. And Curry pokes it free. Reavers gets it back, scores. A little more flow offensively now for Wisconsin.
And you can really notice on the defensive end of the floor the absence of Daniel Oturu, because he has the opportunity to alter shots with his ability to block shots, and they're trying to isolate Curry. He's having to play extended minutes here with the foul trouble on Oturu.
McBrayer gives it up. Stoll hitting the 2 threes. Stoll made 2 3-pointers in Minnesota's last 9 games. He makes 2 in back-to-back possessions. And now will pull again. No, it's Ford with a rebound.
Nice block out by Ford there to eliminate the offensive rebounding opportunity for the Golden Gophers.
Davison will run the point for the Badgers. Haven't seen much of Ty Strickland in the last couple of games. Did not play against Western Kentucky. Has not played here tonight. Reavers again going to work. Reavers, yes. It's an 8-point game. 9 points for Nate Reavers.
We talked about the recognition of Happ on Curry. A good job right there by Reavers of understanding he had the size advantage of Hurt, just backed him down and egged LA over the top.
Reavers averages just over 7 a game. Giving him good minutes with Happ on the bench. See if Minnesota has another answer. Stoll, checked by Pritzl. Michael Hurt going to work on Ford. Spins and can't get it to go with the left hand. Reavers the rebound.
Good job by Reavers of getting Curry on his back, and Curry is laboring right now. Even though the media timeout's coming, go right at him if you're Reavers.
Reavers again, 3-pointer in and out. And Ford comes away with a board, kept alive by Pritzl. Davison to the hole. Got it. Wisconsin answering the Minnesota run. Down 6.
This is the guy I want taking the shot right now. Even though Coffey gave it up, he's got to come back and get it, Ryan. He's got to come back and get the ball.
Hurt again with the left. This time it goes. He got 4 deeper. Much better angle for Michael Hurt. Happ and Iverson set to check back in.
Good ducking by Reavers. Really good job. They missed him initially.
Reavers on Curry. Foul. And the Minnesota big men racking up the fouls. Oturu's on the bench with 4. Reavers going back to the line.
And Wisconsin getting away from the 3-point shot, which was fool's gold for them in the first half, and riding Reavers, understanding that he has the ability to take Curry off the dribble, and because of their ability to spread the floor, that provided the driving opportunity for Davison. During this little mini run, Wisconsin has done a much better job of attacking the basket.
This run without Happ, without Trice on the floor. Now Happ returns, Iverson returns as King and Ford will sit. So Wisconsin goes 6-2 with Happ on the bench. Oturu with 4 fouls. And Reavers free throw attempt number 2 is good. 1 out of 2 for Nate Reavers. He's 3 for 4 from the line tonight, has 10 points. Reavers double-digit scoring in 2 of 3 Big Ten games. Had 10 points against Iowa. Coffey, nothing there. minutes to go in regulation. Wisconsin has come storming back in the second half. Coffey takes half. Coffey hangs, is fouled. Free throws coming for Amir Coffey. Second foul on Ethan Happ.
Nice job by Coffey of pulling Happ away from the rim. Now watch him draw the contact. Rather than fade away, he puts his shoulder to the rim. Remember a few possessions ago when Nate Reavers did not do that? Coffey showed you right there exactly the importance of doing that and force the defender to come through you.
Mott Stockman will enter the game for the Gophers. Perhaps taking Minnesota to the under 8 and protecting the foul situation. Remember, you've got Curry with a couple of fouls, Turu with 4, and let's see if they go right to Ethan Happ.
If they isolate him in the short corner, he can go to work.
Reavers with Murphy on him, just bangs his way through. Two-handed jam. Nate Reavers, he's got 12 now. Coffey looking inside, too hot to handle. Mott Stockman not ready for the pass. Turnover, Minnesota. Sunday on BTN, Dave Repson, Mike DeCourcy, and Jess Settles discuss the hottest topics in college hoops. They examine the conference's place in the national picture. It's Big Ten basketball and beyond, and it's presented by Motorist Insurance Group and returns Sunday, 10 Eastern, right here on BTN. Happ catches it deep. Stockman fouls him before the shot.
And it's a nice job going down the floor by Murphy of kind of calming Amir Coffey down. You know, Stockman should have come up with that. Coffey was a little frustrated. You saw Jordan Murphy come over to him. Hey, calm down, settle down. People are starting to feed off you. A really good job of being a good teammate by Jordan Murphy.
Well, that'll send Ethan Happ to the line. Wisconsin in the bonus for the last 8 minutes of this one. Racking up a ton of fouls. Badgers did not attempt a free throw in the first half, and Happ, who's had his troubles. Ethan Happ, just a 52% free throw shooter, misses the front end of the 1-and-1. 7-point Gopher lead, led by 15 at the half. Deflected by Pritzel. Puts this possession in a little bit of a scatter now for Minnesota. Shot clock at 3. McBrayer trying to find some room, and he scores at the end of the shot clock. Breaking down the Badgers with the dribble.
And a good job of not panicking. You mentioned it. It was kind of a scramble situation offensively, but a good job by the senior McBrayer keeping his wits about.
Just got it off in time. Murphy fouls Ethan Happ.
You know, so it's time and score, understanding that, doesn't rush it, puts his shoulder to the rim, able to complete. Wisconsin trying to fight back.
The right play presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. How about Amir Coffey, Sean?
19 points on the ball game, 15 coming in the first half. Really doing a good job of setting up the dribble drive. Was spreading out Wisconsin defensively, knocking down a couple of threes. Did a very good job of finding teammates on backdoor cuts. That was the reason that Minnesota was able to get out to that early lead in the first half line, is because they were able to get easy shots, contrasted with the fact that Wisconsin was settling for a lot of threes in the second half. Wisconsin's kind of flipped the script. Now they're 9 of 15 here in the second half, 60% shooting from the floor, and they're much more judicious with their three-point shooting.
Second consecutive possession. Minnesota's put Happ on the line, and he has missed both of the front ends of the 1-and-1. So the Gophers up 9. McBrayer turns a corner, gives it up. Looking inside, Oturu back on the floor with the 4 fouls. Working on Reavers, little fadeaway. And Happ keeps it alive, pulls down the rebound. That's a big battle between he and Murphy. That's two of the greats.
And if Oturu with 4 fouls, you get it in the short corner and force Oturu to defend you out there. Let's see if they get it going on the other side.
Iverson spins. Iverson is fouled. Michael Hurd called for the foul. You could tell Happ was frustrated he didn't get the ball. He had centered up in the lane. Looked like he had an open window in there.
He did, but I tell you the thing he did that made that play possible, even though he didn't let that frustration keep him from moving without the ball. As soon as he saw his teammate dribble at him, he vacated the area. As a result, that took his defender with him, eliminating the chance for a double team.
So 2 shots the rest of the way for Wisconsin. Yikes. That one didn't leave the hand well for Khalil Iverson, who's a 74% free throw shooter. Curry back on the floor with coffee, as Michael Hurt will sit. So Oturu and Hurt to the bench. 10 team fouls for Minnesota. That is not a strength for Wisconsin. 8-point game. Minnesota 1-1 in conference play. The Badgers won their first 2 conference games. Curry gives it up. McBrayer will pull a 3. The lefty hits. Big 3 for Dupree. McBrayer.
And a nice delivery off that double team by Curry. He didn't panic. Used his peripheral vision and found McBrayer, who did a good job of getting his feet set while the pass was en route.
Inside to Iverson. Pritzl on the cut. Nothing there. Out of bounds off of Murphy. Well, McBrayer has had a couple of nice possessions. Had the little floater just to beat the shot clock. And then buries a triple to put Minnesota back up double digits.
In his three-point shooting, he had struggled with it on the year, 29% coming in. However, in their last game versus Mount St. Mary's, McBrayer did a nice job with 15 points, 3 of 6 from deep.
They called Murphy for that foul, which is his 4th. As Pritzl hits a free throw, that is the player you want at the free throw line if you're Wisconsin. So foul trouble is stacking up. Just under 6 to go here in regulation. Murphy will join Oturu on the bench with 4 fouls apiece. Pritzl is now 17 for 18 from the free throw line this year. Trice back on the floor. Pritzl's free throws make it a 9-point game.
Good help by Reavers there, forcing Coffey to give up the ball.
And Iverson with a deflection. 13 on the shot clock.
This has been a game, Brian, of runs one way or the other. Let's not forget the guy that just checked into the ball game, Stull. This game was down to 6 points, and Stull hit back-to-back threes, which extended the lead for the Golden Gophers at a very important time in this game.
Looking for McBrayer. He'll pull another. Comes up short. Iverson the rebound. Tough shot for McBrayer, off balance. 5:23 remaining. Here's Trice now. Got it. Good setup by Happ. Trice buries the 3. It's back to 6.
You saw the misdirection dribble by Happ. He starts dribbling left. The defenders have to honor that. Then he kicks it back to the right to Trice in the corner.
Trice just his second 3-point make. He's 2 for 7 from behind the arc. Wisconsin 4 for 19 as a team. Big possession. As we go into 5 minutes, Coffey with Reavers on him. 3-pointer is up. And Reavers not only makes the defensive play on the 3-point attempt, gets the rebound as well.
Did a good job of keeping Coffey in front, and then you notice he had a hand up on that shot, not allowing a clear view of the rim for Coffey.
Oh, Happ with a bad turnover.
We compare that pass from Ethan Happ to one a couple possessions ago. You kick it to Happ, you get the misdirection dribble, that allows the slip over there, and Happ knew it was good before it left Trice's hands. Nice job of utilizing spacing, misdirection dribble. You get the defense flowing one way, then you kick it back the other.
That was Happ's 3rd assist, but a turnover for Ethan Happ was his 3rd just now. Wisconsin with a missed opportunity. 11 Minnesota turnovers. Coffey, the lefty, can't turn the corner on Iverson.
Nice job by Iverson moving his feet, and a good help again by Reavers.
And let's see, Trice touched it last. That's Minnesota ball with 2 on the shot clock.
And if you are Wisconsin defensively here, you have to honor the lob at the rim. You've got a guy, look at Murphy, he's at the right elbow. You have to make sure with that screen that they don't throw it up toward the rim.
And an outstanding defensive possession for Wisconsin ends in a shot clock violation.
And it was good communication. You could see it from our angle here, Brian. They were talking Murphy all the way through defensively from the right elbow down to the left block.
We got to go to Murphy here. Murphy with 4 fouls. Curry guards Happ. There's a pass to Iverson. Murphy there. Oh, and a foul. And Murphy, number 5. Iverson to the line, and Jordan Murphy is out. Could be a huge turn here with 3:49 remaining in regulation. Thanks, and we remind you that men's basketball on BTN is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans, and by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Then a turn of events. 2 games in 1 here. Minnesota dominant in the first half. It's been all Wisconsin in this second half, and Minnesota star Jordan Murphy is out with 5 fouls.
And those have all come in the second half. If you look back to the first half stats, Minnesota as a team only had 4 fouls. Witnessed by the fact Wisconsin had no foul shooting opportunities in the first half. You could tell that Wisconsin's made a concerted effort to attack off the dribble, become less reliant on the 3, and it's paid dividends, not just in the fact they've cut into the lead, but they've got one of the best players in the conference now disqualified from the game because of fouls.
Foul shooting has been suspect for the Badgers. Oturu back on the floor with those 4 fouls. Badgers are 7 of 12 from the free throw line. And Iverson missed them both, and it is Coffey who secures it. Well, the magic number has been 6. Wisconsin has not been able to break through that threshold. Steal Happ. Happ all the way. Happ will finish. Cuts the lead within 5 for the first time since the 7:15 mark of the first half. Minnesota by 4. Coffey is fouled.
Ethan Happ, Brian, not just a tremendous versatile offensive player that has the ability to defend multiple positions. Here, this does a great job of reading the passer's eyes. And even though in most situations you would say don't foul, McBrair's not in foul trouble. That might have been a situation where you give the foul and force Happ to earn it from the stripe.
Yeah, the Hack-a-Happ play, just a 52% free throw shooter. That foul belonged to Iverson. Three minutes to go in regulation here in Madison. There's Curry now, a little frantic offensively. Badgers are on him at every turn. Coffey trying to get by Happ, and the shot clock expires. A block by Ethan Happ.
What a tremendous asset to have, Brian. When you can take a guy like Happ, who saw his ability to read passing angles and not allow the offensive player to get his body into, which led to a breakout opportunity here, to keep a guy like Coffey in front. And look where his hands are. They're up, then he attacks the shooting pocket. He doesn't just go up just to go up. He attacks the shooting pocket, understanding Coffey's a left-handed shooter. He attacked accordingly.
2 huge plays defensively by Happ. A steal and then a block. Minnesota turns it over. Back-to-back possessions. Happ and Oturu on him, and he is going to be called for the foul.
I think they got Curry.
Let's see here. You're right, Curry. I beg your pardon. Curry with the foul.
But I like it. If you're going to give the foul and you're Curry, give it early in the shot clock. They'd isolated Happ down there in the corner. Curry knew he was in a one-on-one situation. Hey, if you're going to make a guy earn it, make him earn it from his area of relative weakness. In Ethan Happ's case, that's been the foul line.
Curry's 3rd foul. And the free throw struggles for Ethan Happ continues. Now 1 for 4. It's been a big story here throughout Happ's career. That is the one area that he struggles mightily. Oturu back on the floor for Minnesota. He'll enter with the 4 fouls. Happ missed them both. Curry with a rebound.
Smart foul by Curry.
Yeah.
Really smart. He was isolated. You're not in foul trouble. Give the contact. Still plenty of time.
Badgers just 7 for 15 from the foul line in this game. All coming in the second half. Coffee with Iverson on him again. Late clock, down to 4, 3, Coffee, and it's an offensive foul. Wisconsin ball. Coffee picks up his second.
How about the job of Iverson? Look where his eyes are, Brian. They were on the chest of Coffee the whole time. There was a lot of action up top, but number 21, Iverson, he never removes his eyes from the chest of Coffee. So even though Coffee was trying to sell him up top, Iverson didn't buy it.
One little offense-defense with Oturu. He sits. Hurt back on the floor. Little teardrop by Trice. Off the window. 2-point game. 9-0 Badger run. Coffee and Happ come together. Timeout on the floor. What a second half run. The Badgers were down 15 at the half. They've made 5 of their last 5 from the field. It's a 9-0 run, and it's a 2-point Minnesota lead with 1:57 left. Tale of 2 games here in Madison. Timeout story. Minnesota just has 1 left. They've been in the double bonus. Wisconsin has since the 4-minute mark. Yeah, the Badgers with just the 5 fouls, still 2 timeouts remaining.
And if you are Wisconsin, that's going to be one thing that you're emphasizing right now in the huddle, is that if you're beaten on the dribble drive, you can give the foul. Yeah. And you're not going to be penalized with a bonus situation. So understanding time and score. Conversely, if you're Minnesota, you have to understand, look, we don't want to put anyone other than Ethan Happ on the foul line because we already are in the double bonus, meaning that they've already put Wisconsin in the double bonus situations. You have to understand time and score in that regard as well.
Well, and it's a situation, we've seen it before, the Badgers, if they put Happ on the line, and it's an and one, it's bonus. It's a bonus for them. That's what he's looking for. But the fouls on Ethan Happ have come early, and he's missed both attempts on a front end of a 1-and-1. He just missed 2 in a row in a double bonus scenario. Not necessarily a benefit, even with the foul trouble here for the Golden Gophers. Minnesota is on a drought of 4 minutes and 19 seconds during this 9-0 Badger run. Here we go, Minnesota ball. Under 2 to go in regulation. Coffee puts it up and in. I think Coffee was looking to pass.
That's exactly right, Brian. He was looking to dump that off. He was up in the air. But how about the presence of mind to get the ball up toward the rim before one of those feet hit the floor and led to a travel? This is an unbelievably athletic play by Coffee. Now, look, he wants to leave it for Hurt. He leaves his feet, understands that Hurt is not available, and has the presence of mind to put it up there. But not only just put it up there, Brian, but put it up there softly enough where it has a chance to go in.
21 points for Amir Coffee, his 4th 20-point game of his career. Second time this season. Remember, Coffee went to 32 against Nebraska. Minnesota just used their last timeout. 1:40 remaining. And Minnesota up 4. Then a furious comeback for Wisconsin. But Minnesota's been able to hold them off. Can they get out of here with a road win in their 3rd Big Ten Conference game of the year? Big possession here. And it's poked away by McBrayer. McBrayer all the way, and McBrayer scores! Boy, what a huge play by Dupree McBrayer. Davison passes up the three. Now turns it over. McBrayer on the breakaway for a two-handed jam. McBrayer has 10. And 2 major breakdowns offensively for Wisconsin.
Active hands by Dupree McBrayer. Watch where his hands are. You have to be stronger with the basketball if you're Demetrius Price, and then put your shoulder to the rim, play through some contact. Then just understand there's no one back and taking it all the way. McBrayer hit a big three when Wisconsin was making a run. Here, it's been the active hands and the presence of mind to understand that you had number situations and the advantage to go and convert on the other end.
Had a bloody lip in the first half, took a shot from Brad Davison, but McBrayer comes up big. You see the patches on the jerseys of the Gophers, the TM patches. That's for Dupree McBraer's late mother, Tyra McFarland, who passed away just after Thanksgiving, and they honor McBraer's mom with those initials over the heart. Dedicated the season to his late mother. Boy, it goes from a 2-point Minnesota lead quickly to 8. Wisconsin ball, 52 seconds left in regulation. A quick 6-0 run, and Trice almost lost it with a turnover. Now we'll give it back.
Wow. 3 straight possessions where Wisconsin, Brian, wasn't even able to get a shot toward the rim.
3 turnovers. Wisconsin with 11 turnovers. Kobe King will re-enter. And Trice will take a seat. As a complete collapse offensively for Wisconsin. So you got to give Minnesota a lot of credit, though. They hang their hat on defense, and they have been locked down when they've needed to tonight.
And since Jordan Murphy fouled out of the ball game, you know, one of your best offensive options, which many times has been a second shot, has gone out of the ball game. When Murphy left because of the foul situation, he was disqualified. A lot of times he's bailed them out of situations because of his ability to get to the offensive glass and keep possessions alive. Since he fouled out, that has not been there. That is what has made the play of Coffey and most recently McBrayer that much more important for the Golden Gophers.
Murphy just 1 point, no rebounds in the second half after a 10-rebound first half. Minnesota in the bonus now. McBrayer with a 1-and-1 opportunity. Happ will run it down. Missed opportunity there for the Gophers, and they foul Ethan Happ, and that'll send him to the line. 2 shots coming for Ethan Happ. It's an effective strategy. It's not the prettiest, but until Ethan Happ can prove he can make free throws in the clutch, he's going to spend a lot of time there.
And if his percentages hold, he'll split this. You can live with that if you're Minnesota.
He is now 1 for 6 from the free throw line.
Now, if you are Minnesota, it is incumbent upon you, Brian, that you pinch down and do not allow a second chance opportunity off a potential miss. Wow. Lane violation.
Yeah, they'll do it again. Happ putting in a little mechanical change here, getting up on his tiptoes to shoot a free throw, but it has not worked here tonight, and misses again. Man, oh man, you feel for him at this point. Such a mental game at the free throw line, and Ethan Happ, he knows it as well as anyone. 1 for 8 from the free throw line. All the home teams winning tonight in the Big Ten Conference. Minnesota can disrupt that rhythm. You have Michigan over Penn State, Purdue at Mackey taking down Iowa, ranked 25th in the country, and Indiana holding serve at home against Illinois. Well, another free throw miss. Got to get some threes up, you would think, if you're Wisconsin. Davison gives it up. Reavers for 3. No. Rebound, Curry. And Minnesota starting to sniff a victory on the road in the Big Ten.
Really gutty performance. They set the tone in the first half, Brian, on the defensive end of the floor. They did not allow Wisconsin to get into any kind of comfort level. As a result, Wisconsin was really stymied. They didn't help their cause by launching 14 threes in the first half, did not attack off the dribble. They did that in the second half. That's witnessed in the foul trouble and the fouling out of Murphy that they find themselves in. But it was their ability to kind of fight through that, which has really been the difference.
Well, Wisconsin has missed 16 threes and 10 free throws as King finally hits a three. Gives Wisconsin a life here, down 5 with 19 and change left. Maryland is next for Minnesota. They'll be at home against Maryland and Rutgers. They got the next 5 all on BTN. And that showdown at home, or check it, on the road against Michigan on the 22nd of January.
A road win in this conference this season is going to be of even higher value than of years past, Brian, because of just how deep the league is. You always want to try to hold home serve. That's been something Wisconsin over the years, especially the last 2 decades, has done extremely well. So for Minnesota to look like they're going to come in here and get a win, they lost their other conference game on the road pretty handily to Ohio State, albeit with a short turnaround. But this would be a gutty, outstanding game for Minnesota to pull out. And, you know, Wisconsin, as we take a look at their schedule, you know, they've struggled at times going on the road at Penn State, and they're playing then after that a Purdue team at home who can play very, very confidently on the road because of the play of Carson Edwards.
That's a 2-possession game. 55-50 Minnesota. Greg Gard using his last timeout. Boy, Wisconsin had it within 2, had the ball, had a chance, and then 3 straight possessions with turnovers, and the game turned. And a foul. McBrayer will head to the line. 2 shots now for McBrayer. 10th team foul on Wisconsin. Bree McBrayer, senior from Queens, New York. And he knocks down the first one. So this is the one that could put it away for Minnesota. Still a 2-possession game. Ton of missed free throws tonight. Minnesota just 8 for 14 from the line. And McBrayer ices it. 3-possession game. Minnesota's going to roll into Madison, Wisconsin, and snap an 8-game losing streak to the Badgers. Wisconsin undefeated at home this year. A perfect 6-0 until now, and Dupree McBrayer all smiles.
And in a game that has been defined by its grit, a lot of people that you can point to in a positive way for Minnesota. How about the lift they got off the bench with Curry? Yes, he was isolated sometimes in defensive situations, but he provided some capable play along that front line with the foul trouble by Murphy. And remember, the game got cut to 6 points, and Brock Stoll came in and knocked down back-to-back 3-point shots, which extended the lead to double digits, even though it was in the middle part of this second half. Can't overstate the importance of those shots for the grad transfer.
McBrayer now 13 points. Amir Coffey goes for 21 tonight. Hits a couple of threes. Davis into the hole with the layup. And that should take us to the finish line here with 3 seconds to go. Coffey will dribble it out, and the Golden Gophers win a big one on the road in Madison. To 2-1 in conference play. Wisconsin suffers their first loss in Big Ten play. Ethan Happ, 17 points, 8 rebounds. Struggled from the free throw line. That's going to do it for us from the Kohl Center. Big post game coming up next for Sean Morris. I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Madison, where the Golden Gophers pick up a key road win early in conference play.